Hi, and welcome back to the Professor's Quick Tips. Today we're going to be taking a look at Excel, and we're going to look at some methods that we can use to break up some information inside of a list. One of the questions I get frequently asked is if you have a list of information that was either imported from another program or you inherited a file from someone else, and there's too much data inside of a single cell or a column, so column B in our case where we have the names, wouldn't it be nice to be able to split that up into a first name and a last name? So the good news is you have a couple of different ways you can go about doing this. The first method is what's called text to columns, and we find this underneath the data tab. And it doesn't matter what version of Excel you're using, 2010, 2013, it works the same way in both. So what I need to do is actually give it a destination area to split the data into. So I'm creating basically a spot for the last names. And then I go ahead and I highlight all the names that I want to split. On my data tab, we're going to go over to text to columns. So the one thing I have to tell Excel is, well, what do all these names have in common? Basically, what am I going to use as my splitting point? Well, the good news is, for each of these, the space between the first name and the last name is what I'm going to use as my separator. And that's actually what my first question is, whether it's delimited, there's a common element that I can use to split, or whether it's fixed width, so if they were all a very specific number of characters. Now, we know it's a space in this case, so I choose delimited, and I click Next. I then tell it that it's going to use the space as the delimiter or separator. I get my preview down at the bottom. I can just go ahead and click on Finish. And as you can see, safely moves my information into the recipient cells in column C. I just provide a title up at the top, and it's done. Now, if you're using Excel 2013, there is a new feature that's called FlashFill, and it's designed to do a lot of that work for you. With FlashFill, what you do is you start typing in your data the way that you want to see it, and it does have to be at the end of the list. So I'm going to use column E. So if I wanted to start by providing the last names in here, I start by typing in my first last name in my list, and I press Enter. So far, so good. As soon as I start typing my second last name, notice Excel recognizes the pattern of what I'm trying to accomplish, automatically fills in the rest of the data for me. All I have to do is press Enter, and Excel's done all the hard work for me. I can just go up to the top, resize my column, and we're good to go. I could then do the same thing for the first names. I type in the first one, I press Enter, I start typing in the next one, Excel sees what I'm trying to accomplish, Flash fills the rest of my data for me. I press Enter, all the work is done, and that's your easy ways that you can use to split some data up within an Excel environment. Once again, thank you for watching.